Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Getaway podcast. As always, I am your host, Jacob Murphy. I hope all of our listeners had a very relaxing 4th of July. Now that we're in summer, it certainly feels like things are starting to slow down a little bit, and I'm certainly making accommodations for all of the people that I usually interact with who are on vacation. And I got to thinking and decided that I wanted to talk a little bit about estate planning as it pertains to vacationing. So this is a little solo episode as we get into vacation season. This time of year, families and individuals jet off all over the globe, and it can't hurt to dig a little deeper into what that means for your plan and what you need to know to keep yourself protected wherever you may find yourself this time of year. As you make travel arrangements, it's really important to remember that preparing for the unexpected is just as crucial as packing your bags, making your accommodations, booking hotels, all that good stuff. This is where travel estate planning really comes into play, and that's what we're going to talk about today, is this concept of travel estate planning. By taking the time to address your estate plan before you take off on your trip, you can really ensure that your loved ones and your assets are protected no matter what happens while you're away. So, why is estate planning so important to do before traveling? A lot of people have this concept that estate planning is just your distribution of assets after you pass away, but as we've discussed before on this podcast, it also encompasses critical healthcare directives, guardianship arrangements for minor children, and by going through this process of reviewing your estate plan with travel in mind, you're taking a proactive measure to protect your loved ones, your assets, your medical decisions while you're away from home. Whether you're alone, with a partner, with your family, having your comprehensive estate plan in place, it provides that peace of mind that we're so focused on here at Gentrio, and ensures that your wishes are carried out, even if you're unable to communicate them yourself, and that's really the key point. If you're not, obviously you're not home. You may not even be in the country, so this allows your voice to still be here even if you physically aren't. So what are the essential tasks that we have to think about when reviewing our estate plan with travel in mind? Before you take off on your vacation, it's essential to complete a couple key items to make sure your estate plan is up to date, reflective of your current circumstances, and we'll go through those in just a minute, but by reviewing these couple of tasks, you can really minimize the potential legal complications and provide true guidance for your loved ones who are back at home in case of this, worst case scenario that I'm talking about. So the first thing you want to do is just review and update your plan, plain and simple. If you already have a plan in place, you want to make sure that it's up to date. Your life circumstances, as we all know, change over time. So going on a vacation is a good time to sit down and review that the plan that you made in the past is still reflective of your current life. So take your time to review your documents, make any necessary adjustments, especially to your medical and financial powers of attorney, your will, and any other documents that you have. By reviewing and updating your estate plan, you can ensure that your choices will be upheld and your assets will be distributed according to your wishes, and that your designated beneficiaries are still valid. Reviewing and updating beneficiary designations is an important aspect, especially of travel estate planning. There's many valuable assets such as life insurance policies, retirement accounts, that these pass directly to your beneficiaries through designated beneficiary forms. And it's crucial to ensure that your beneficiary designations are up to date and accurately reflect your wishes. So consider naming primary and alternate beneficiaries to account for any changes in circumstances that you might have. We talk about major life events like marriage, divorce, birth of children. These are all good times to review these beneficiaries. But right now we're focused on traveling. Another good moment to sit down and review these documents. The next task that you want to do is to review and update your powers of attorney documents. As we've discussed before on this podcast, there's two kinds of power of attorney documents. There's the medical power of attorney and the financial power of attorney. These documents grant someone you trust the legal authority to make decisions on your behalf. Obviously, the healthcare one grants someone the ability to make healthcare decisions, and then the financial one, financial decisions. And these are both key documents to make sure that should the worst happen to you, your financial matters, paying bills, managing investments, bank accounts, and then medical decisions, artificial life, all that stuff your wishes will be upheld in those circumstances. So in addition to your power of attorney documents, another document that we obviously talk about a lot here is your will. And in terms of vacationing, one of the most important things you can do with a will is name a guardian for your minor children. If you have minor children, it really is crucial to designate guardians who will care for them in the event of your incapacity or death. And naming a guardian is critical in this travel estate planning mindset because it ensures that should the worst happen, your children will be cared for by individuals that you trust. So consider the responsibilities and the values of potential guardians and choose someone who can provide a safe and loving environment for your children. I would also say it's important to select alternate guardians just in case your primary choice is unable to be there to fulfill that role. And by creating this legally binding, guardianship document, you outline your wishes and you provide guidance so that, again, should the worst happen on your vacation, your chosen guardian can step in. So moving on, one thing that a lot of people don't think about before vacationing is organizing their digital assets. So, in today's day and age, it's essential to consider your online presence and your digital assets when engaging in this travel estate planning. So you want to make a comprehensive list of all of your digital accounts, including your email, social media, cloud storage, cryptocurrency, all that good stuff. And ensure that your list includes login information, passwords, relevant details. Consider using a password management tool to securely store and organize your login credentials, obviously. And additionally, communicate your wishes regarding the management of these digital assets. This could include instructions to delete, deactivate accounts, pass on the access to trusted individuals. And this is really something that should be done regardless of if you're going on vacation or not. But again, right before you go on vacation is a great time to sit down and get this done. Once you've done all this, we essentially have the documents created or updated, reviewed. But that's really only half of the equation. It's equally important to ensure that your estate plan is not only up to date, but also accessible and in the right hands so that the necessary individuals have the information to carry out your wishes. So a couple of practical tips to help you organize your estate plan. The first would be to utilize a digital vault like we provide on Gentrio. This allows you to securely store and share your estate plan all in one place. It provides a centralized and encrypted location for all of your important information, even outside of your documents. For example, having contact information for doctors is something you can store as well in your digital vault. So regardless of who your provider is, a digital vault will offer shared access and other features that allow you to upload your estate plan, notify the relevant individuals, such as executors, beneficiaries, and by utilizing a digital vault, you ensure that your documents are readily available even when you are far away from home. The next step would be to inform the loved ones involved of your estate plan. So communication, as we all know, is key. So even if you have the estate plan stored and shared in your in your digital vault, you want to make sure that you actually reach out to your loved ones who would be involved should the worst happen. Again, executors, beneficiaries, etc. Make sure they understand their roles and their responsibilities in carrying out your wishes. Provide them with contact information for the person responsible for managing your estate. That would be your executor. And by keeping your loved ones informed, you can ensure that they have the necessary information and support to navigate any unforeseen circumstances that may arise during your trip. While digital storage is convenient, it's also wise to keep physical copies of your estate planning documents. So consider creating a file or a folder, storing it somewhere in a safe lockbox. Have it contain your wills, your trusts, your healthcare proxies, powers of attorney, all that stuff, just to make sure it's in an easily accessible physical location. And again, inform your trusted individuals of the existence and the location. Make sure they can actually get to it. And then as you review and update your estate plan, make sure you replace it with the up-to-date versions. And there you go. So I know this sounds like a lot, it really does not take as much time as you would think. And it really is important to make sure you have your documents up to date, created in the first place if you haven't done so already. But, up to date is also very key, especially before jetting off somewhere or during any of these kind of life events. So, as we always talk about, estate planning is not a one and done task. Life is always changing, and it's essential just to review and update your documents regularly. So going on a trip is just another one of those moments where you can say, let's break out the documents and just have a quick review, make sure everything's good so that we can have that peace of mind when we head off to wherever we're going. A lot of people go on vacations once a year, so that's a great time. Reviewing your estate plan once a year is kind of the minimum, what you should be doing. So if you go on a yearly vacation, that's a great time to schedule, every year before I go on vacation, I break out my estate plan and I just review, make sure everything's good, and then I'm good for the year. So, the next time you go on a vacation, take the time to address your estate planning as it pertains to traveling. Complete these essential tasks, review your estate plan, update it, name guardians, organize your digital assets, and provide yourself with that peace of mind. And once you do that, have fun on your vacation. So thank you, everyone, for listening. I hope you enjoyed this little informative solo episode. As we kick off Season 3 of the Gentrio podcast, we have a lot of really interesting guests lined up to come on, so stay tuned for that, and take care, everyone.